So today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of living in Colleyville, Texas. I think if you're moving to Dallas-Fort Worth, you need to know both the good and the bad. I'm not here just to paint a story of it's amazing to live here and nothing ever is wrong, because there are pros and cons to living anywhere. And I would like to tell you those about Colleyville, Texas. And so I'm Tiffany. I'm a local realtor here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. If this is your first time by our page, then welcome. This is where we drop everything you need to know about the life in Dallas-Fort Worth. And we've been doing this for over a decade and just helping people like you move here and do it smoothly. We actually just got voted the #1 brokerage in all of Dallas-Fort Worth. So we're super excited about that. And you can get all of my information below. You can text, call, email, just reach out. We would love to help you find exactly what you're looking for and get all of your questions answered. I get texts and calls all the time, so don't worry, you're not going to annoy me. Just reach out. So let's get started. As far as Colleyville, it's a spot that's really tucked away in the metroplex, but yet very, very central. And so there are some amazing pros and cons about this city. And so I'm just going to kind of give you a little bit of background so that you understand. If you've watched my Colleyville vlog, you're going to know that it's considered more of a luxury suburb, but has a very small town feel. I know a ton of people that live in Colleyville. I grew up next to Colleyville, and the #1 thing that people talk about in Colleyville is community, and that they love it because it does have a very quaint, laid back, down, small town, not down home, but small town feel. And so the population is around 26,000, and it's a part of Tarrant County. It was actually voted the #2 best place to live in all of Tarrant County. The #1 would actually be South Lake, but Colleyville is right under South Lake. So you can kind of get the feel, if you've watched my South Lake video, of Colleyville's just kind of a smaller South Lake, but much less of that hoity-toity or keeping up with the Joneses feel as far as South Lake goes. Niche.com actually shows that Colleyville was rated 15 out of 413 suburbs in the whole state of Texas on raising a family. So that's super high. Okay, I'm going to start with some pros. At first, there's no particular order to these. They're just all really great things. And the first is schools. So obviously, like a ton of suburbs in Dallas-Fort Worth, Colleyville does have fantastic schools. They are a part of the Grapevine Colleyville Independent School District, and they've been giving an A+ rating. And again, you can go to niche.com or I think it's goodschool.org or greatschools.org and look at these factors. And you can actually go to the independent school websites and it will give you a breakdown of all the kids that are going to those specific schools. Colleyville Heritage High School is actually voted #3 in best public high schools in all of Tarrant County. And that means that they're #3 out of 103 high schools, which is a lot. There are 4 elementaries in Colleyville, 2 middle schools, and 1 high school. One thing I also want to point out in Grapevine Colleyville ISD is they actually have an award-winning college preparatory school, and it's virtual, it's online, and it's really exploded, and a lot of kids that use this are high-level athletes or those that are training for the Olympics, and it still gives them that epic level of education, so it's a pretty cool program. Another pro that I want to point out is proximity. This is huge because everybody knows the Dallas-Fort Worth area is really big, and to go from Dallas to Fort Worth, especially with traffic, it's going to take you a while. So Colleyville is right in the middle. It's 30 minutes from Dallas, 25 minutes from Fort Worth, probably 15 to 17 minutes to DFW Airport, 10 minutes to South Lake. It seriously has everything that you would need in a close proximity. So it's just a really nice place to live. Another pro that I feel is its affluence. So the average household income is about $180,000. With a higher end community, you're just going to get things that come with that. There's better schools, better shopping, better restaurants, better landscaping, And there's just so much more, and Colleyville really has all of that. The best part about Colleyville is it does have all those things, but still very much of a down-to-earth mindset. And I think that's important when you go into an affluent community, that you don't feel like you shouldn't be there. And so I think that's important to have that feeling of community, and Colleyville certainly has it. A couple of other pros. Colleyville, it's unique because there's not a ton of new construction going on, because it's been established for so long and it's landlocked. But you will sometimes see an older home that is torn down and a new big beautiful home built on that. And so there is that availability. But the pro there is that they have large lots and really mature trees. And so if you love homes on larger lots with massive trees, then Colleyville is going to be a really good spot for you. They've done a great job of not building homes that are stacked on top of each other and that are cookie cutter. Most of the neighborhoods are older and charming. And like I said, you can find new construction in those neighborhoods. It's just not going to be super common. But you can also buy an older home and build new on that lot if you want to, or just add on to that or renovate it to bring it up to your design taste. So another pro is parks and trails. They have a ton of mini parks, trails, and recreational areas. They also have a Colleyville Nature Center, and they're talking about building a really large new recreation center. I don't have all the details on that, but as soon as I do, I will get back to you guys. But if you're wanting walking, jogging, biking trails, Colleyville has them. And then the last pro before we move to the cons is it's, like I said, community focused. And I do think that's super important when it comes to moving here, is you want, there's going to be people moving here that are introverts and they don't want to talk to their neighbors. But a lot of Texas is nice, guys. We talk to our neighbors. We like to hang out. And so if that's not something you're used to or you want, let me know, because I will find you areas that don't do that. But Colleyville is community oriented. It does a fantastic job of pulling the community together. They always have events. An example of this is the mayor will throw awesome events like in the town center as well as the local high school. It could be anything from the 4th of July concert and fireworks to neighborhood parades, the local fire department decorating their trucks for Christmas, doing nighttime parades through neighborhoods, bringing out the Fort Worth Symphony to live events. It's a lot of fun. And so just be prepared that if you want to move to Colleyville, it's definitely inclusive and invites everybody in. So those are the pros. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the cons. And the first con is definitely going to be the cost of living. There's no way around that. The cost of living is higher than normal. It's not as high as Southlake, but the average home right now is right close to $600,000. It's right under $600,000. The national average is $245,000, if that gives you a perspective. Almost everyone in Colleyville owns their homes. They actually don't even have apartment complexes in Colleyville, and they do have condos and townhomes, but they're very hard to come by because once people own them, they don't sell them. So, you can find them. It's just harder. Just to give you an idea of price in Colleyville right now in the market, there's about 36 houses listed at the time of this video. It's going to change depending on when I recorded this video. But the least expensive house is $585,000. It is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a little over 2,100 square feet. So that kind of gives you a perspective, a bird's eye view. The most expensive home in Colleyville right now is $8 million, and it's 6 bedrooms, 10 bathrooms, and it's over 11,000 square feet. So you get the extremes there. 15 of those 36 homes are listed over $1 million, and then 16 are under $1 million. So anywhere from that 600 to $1 million mark. As far as cost of living, you're also going to want to check our property taxes. We don't have a state income tax like a lot of the states do, so that does help. A lot of people are moving here because of that, but we do have property taxes. And so you're going to want to double check how much your house is compared to how much those property taxes are, because the high cost of homes is going to make your property taxes higher because the property taxes are on a percentage of the house. And so just be prepared for that. I can help you work through those numbers as well. We also have really great lenders that can help kind of give you a picture of what cost of living is going to look like by giving you a whole breakdown. So, and just to break in right now, if you have questions, text or call. We are here to help you. So just let you know that. All right, back to our regular broadcast. Another con, if it matters, is there's not a lot of nightlife. There are restaurants and things for you to go to. Primarily, folks that live in Colleyville are families, and they're not going, out to the club scene, but they're going to go to their kids' baseball games and neighborhood gets-togethers. And if you're looking at Colleyville and you love the bar scene, concerts, and more of that nightlife scene, you're going to want to go down to Dallas, and it's not far. It's an easy drive. You can even Uber if that is better for you. But Colleyville does have some really nice high-end upscale restaurants that are great for date life and could have some, live music. It's just not the norm out there. So just know that could be a con if that's something you like to do. And you can definitely head over to my Colleyville vlog, and I talk more about what Colleyville has to offer. Another con is the limited public transportation. So some of you might know that the TexRail does go right through Colleyville. It actually goes right down Highway 26, which is a main highway that goes right through Colleyville, and it goes all the way up to South Lake and then all the way down to the other mid-cities. We call it mid-cities because they're in the middle of Dallas and Fort Worth. They're the mid-cities. So in case you've heard that term before and didn't know what it meant. It was built in 2018. And actually, there's quite an argument over whether or not it should have a stop in Colleyville. The train goes all the way from downtown Fort Worth through Fort Worth, makes stops in North Richland Hills, and then goes all the way to Grapevine and to the airport. So you can go all the way across to Fort Worth from the airport with a couple of stops. Colleyville really thought about whether or not it wanted to have a stop for the train in Colleyville. It was kind of a heated argument for people that did want it and people that didn't. So just know that there's not really a whole lot of public transportation. And because Colleyville is not a transient community, the locals didn't want it to be a place where people would just stop. So as far as public transportation, what you could do is a taxi or an Uber, go right over to Grapevine because it's super close, jump on that train, and then go to Fort Worth or to the airport or whatever you need so that you're not having to pay the entire Uber ride to Fort Worth because the train is cheaper. Another con, like I mentioned before in one of the pros, because of lot size, there's not a lot of new construction in Colleyville. So if you're wanting that, it's probably not going to be super likely. There is some, they're higher price points, and if that's what you want, I can show you some neighborhoods where they are building new. It's just not as much as other cities. And so because it's landlocked and the neighborhoods have larger lots, a lot of them are considered estates. Colleyville's just not going to experience massive growth like that. And so, again, if you want new construction, let me know. Otherwise, you're going to more than likely buy a house and either renovate it. If you feel that it's dated, you can renovate it, or you can buy a house that's already renovated. But the homes in Colleyville are gorgeous and the lots are huge. And so I don't think that you're going to be unsatisfied. So that kind of wraps up our pros and cons. Colleyville's a great little city, so there's not a ton of cons for it, but I did want to point out the few that that I feel are recognizable. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed our video. If you have questions, feel free to reach out. All of our information's below. We will get those questions answered. We work all the time, so don't worry about when you text or call. And until our next video, I hope you guys have a really great day.